let me tell you about this valley called the Valley of Headless Men.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
That is spooky.
There's been a lot of fans asking that we talk about this valley. And I heard like one or two stories. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of spooky. But there's more to it.
Nice.
A lot more. Nahanni Valley, located in northwest Canada, is one of the most remote parks in, I would say, the world. There's this valley called, it's nicknamed the Valley of Headless Men. No one occupies this place, and they haven't for a long time. But what's so crazy about this valley is that with its terrain, it's so insane, the terrain, that like the valley itself, the cliff sides, there's like a river that goes through it, and the cliff sides are like over 3,000 feet tall.
Oh my goodness.
Steep cliffs. And they say that the river is just as deep as the cliff sides. So like a 3,000 foot river.
Terrifying.
In depth. But a tribe that used to, or that still, I think in parts occupies this park, are called the, which this is, I don't know how to say it. It was either the Dean or the Dene tribe. We'll just call them the Dean tribe because I've heard more people say that. They have all these stories of different cryptid creatures occupying this valley, ranging from Bigfoot to different kinds of spirits to even giants. Legends go back and say that giants live in this valley.
Yeah.
And it's just this amazing place. But the way the terrain works, they said that the land looks probably almost identical to what it looked like 100,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So basically all the ice ages, with its certain way it's shaped and stuff, they weren't necessarily affected by these giant ice sheets that like covered the majority of the North America.
Yeah.
And with that, the Dean tribe talked about how there was all these prehistoric animals that still probably exist, including dinosaurs, mammoths. They talked about giant beavers, these colossal beavers.
That's scary.
They have the story of these 3 giant beavers that occupied different parts of the valley, and they were so big that if you were on a canoe, like the tribesmen, the Native Americans, if they were on this lake, the beaver would just slap its tail and create a wave and drown people.
What?
Yeah, dude. A giant beaver.
Yeah.
The teeth, the tail, everything, going swimming through that water 3,000 feet deep.
So there's a lot of lore and like mysterious things with this valley.
Yeah.
And there's actually proof. So people are saying like the animals that grow within this valley are like prehistoric size. And it was in the 70s, one guy was doing a documentary about this valley and caught on video a moose that said it was double the size of any moose he's ever seen. And they guesstimated the width from antler to antler, 12 feet across.
Dude.
And they said that's the exact size. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but the Irish elk. You ever heard of that?
No.
That was like a prehistoric deer or an elk that lived in like the UK region, but it's like literally double the size of a moose.
That's scary.
Just crazy stuff. The Dean tribe also talked about that before they were there was a Native American tribe that went by the name the Naha tribe. Mm-hmm. And they said that they were a cannibalistic, war-hungry people.
Oh gosh.
And they lived on the mountain peaks and would attack the Dean tribe. And then one day they just disappeared. The Dean tribe had no idea where they went.
Just gone.
They were always at war with them and like trying to fight them off and stuff. And what I saw is that the Dean tribe was a very peaceful tribe, but the Naha tribe was just cannibalistic, so they would kill and eat and all this stuff. And but then one day they just disappeared. Never saw them again. So in the Dean tribe, they were so superstitious and they were so afraid of these spirits that occupied this land that when someone died, they would cremate them and then burn their house and all of their possessions because they feared that spirit
would linger, right?
Cultivated or lived in that valley and would torment them. So their superstition stuff goes like way back.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that they call it the Headless Men or the Headless Valley.
I was wondering. I was like, when are we going to get to the Headless?
Valley of the Headless Men.
Yeah.
Is the first recorded instance happened in it was either 1904 or 1908 Frank and William McLeod. They're these prospectors that ventured into this valley. Let me say this first. This valley is so remote that there's no roads you can go into this park. You can either go by boat or by plane now.
Yeah.
So it's like to get there is really hard. But Frank and William McLeod, they ventured in there in 1908, and they came back because they found gold, and then they're like, we're going to go back and get more gold. Went there, they're gone for 2 years, and their other brother's like, they've been gone for 2 years, we got to go look for them. Went out there, ventured out there, and found a tree that was burnt, and found carvings in the tree that had their initials, and then went a little further down, another burnt tree, and there lay 2 skeletons.
Oh, gosh.
Both with their heads missing.
Oh,
Whoa.
no.
Yeah, and they're like, is this my brother? Sure enough, it was same watch, writing, journal, all that stuff.
Jeez.
That stinks.
That was the first instance. 1917, this guy named Martin, who was a prospector, built a cabin in the valley, and they discovered him. His cabin had been burnt, and outside of his cabin laid his body without a head.
Are you kidding?
1920, prospectors were found tied to a tree, burnt and headless.
What is happening?
So it's not the cannibalistic Native Americans because they would have eaten them.
We don't know. 1927, a man that went by Yukon Fisher, he was evading arrest, went into the valley, and was discovered headless, very close to where those brothers were found. 1945, a miner from Ontario was discovered dead in his sleeping bag.
Oh, gosh.
Like the others, he had been decapitated, and so they found his whole body in the sleeping bag, but his head was gone. And so they're saying that he had no time to react to what just happened to him. Head gone. And there's so many more stories like that. But another really creepy story regarding this was sometime in the 1920s. There was this woman. Her name was Annie, and she was a hunter, and she wanted to join this hunting party that was going into the valley.
So we ain't taking no female legs.
Basically, but she was so renowned for her hunting skills that they're like, all right, you can come.
Oh, cool.
And as they're trekking through, gone, disappeared.
Just her or everybody?
Just her.
Oh, no.
And they're like, we don't know where she is. And then a little bit later, they met up with a Dean Chief, the Native American, and he said that he spotted a white woman who was unclothed, naked, crawling on all fours like an animal on the mountainside. And that's the last time they ever saw her.
That is so scary. Why'd you say that part? That's so scary.
But present day, every year there's people that go missing in that forest, never to be seen again.
Really?
Yeah.
It keeps happening?
Like the missing 411 thing.
Yeah, dude.
What the heck?
Dude,
Dude.
that's crazy. First of all, I love this story. This is so creepy.
Yeah.
That is wild, man.